The human starship Avalon cut through hyperspace like a knife through dark water, its quantum engines humming with power that humanity had only dreamed of a century ago. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's forward viewport, her weathered features reflected against the swirling vortex of faster-than-light travel. After 6 months of deep space exploration, they were about to make history, the first human vessel to venture beyond the Orion Arm. Quantum drive disengaging in 3, 2, 1. Lieutenant Rodriguez called from his station. The swirling lights of hyperspace collapsed into pinpoints of starlight, and chaos erupted. The Avalon materialized in the middle of a war zone. Massive ships, easily twice the size of Earth's largest vessels, traded salvos of energy weapons that lit up space like artificial supernovas. Smaller craft darted between the Titans, reminiscent of ancient fighter jets in their deadly dance. Battle stations. Chen's command cut through the shocked silence on the bridge. Warning klaxons blared as the crew scrambled to their positions. Tactical. Give me a situation report. Commander James Wright's fingers flew across his holographic display. 2 distinct alien fleets engaged in combat, Captain. One appears to be defending the nearby planet. The other, he paused, checking his readings. The other is unlike anything we've ever theorized. Their ships appear to be partially organic in nature. The defending fleet's ships bore elegant lines despite their size, their hulls gleaming with a silvery blue metal unknown to human science. Their opponents were darker, more ominous. Vessels that seemed to pulse with internal light, their surfaces rippling like the skin of some cosmic leviathan. We've been noticed, Lieutenant Commander Diana Patel reported from sensors. Both fleets are scanning us. The defenders are attempting to establish communications, but the attackers... She looked up, face pale. They're targeting us. Before Chen could respond, space itself seemed to tear as a beam of corrupted energy lanced out from one of the organic ships. The Avalon's shields, humanity's best defense technology, flared brilliant blue as they absorbed the impact. Shields at 60% from a single hit, Wright reported, amazement and fear mingling in his voice. Whatever they're using, it's partially phasing through our defenses. Chen's mind raced. First contact was supposed to happen through careful diplomatic channels, not in the middle of a battlefield. But here they were, and she had to make a decision that would affect not just her crew, but potentially the future of human-alien relations. Open a channel to the defending fleet, she ordered, and bring our main gun online. The Avalon's pride and joy, the Thermopylae cannon, began its warm-up sequence. Named after an ancient battle where a small force held off a vast army, the weapon represented the pinnacle of human military technology, a hybrid of particle acceleration and controlled quantum tunneling that could, in theory, punch through any known material. Defenders are responding, Patel announced, converting their transmission now. A holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge. The alien that appeared was humanoid, but clearly not human, tall and elegant, with silvery skin and eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. When it spoke, the ship's AI translated in real time. Unknown vessel, I am Admiral Zera Vex of the Kilari Defense Fleet. You have entered a restricted combat zone. The entities attacking us are known as the Void Swarm. They consume all in their path. You must retreat immediately. Chen stepped forward, standing straight and proud. Admiral, I am Captain Sarah Chen of the human starship Avalon. We may be newcomers to this region of space, but we don't abandon others in need. Our weapons and shields are unlike anything in this battle. Let us help. The alien admiral's galaxy eyes widened slightly. Surprise, perhaps. Your offer is brave but foolish, Captain. The Void Swarm has destroyed civilizations far more advanced than yours appears to be. A massive explosion lit up the viewport as one of the Kilari ships succumbed to the swarm's assault. Chen's jaw set with determination. With respect, Admiral, you haven't seen what humans can do. Rodriguez, bring us about. Right, target the nearest swarm vessel with the Thermopylae. Let's show them why humanity survived every catastrophe our world could throw at us. The Avalon's engines flared to life, the human warship moving with a grace that belied its size. As they took position alongside the Kilari fleet, Chen couldn't help but think that this wasn't just first contact. It was humanity's debut on the galactic stage. And they were going to make one hell of an entrance. The thermopyla cannon's discharge illuminated space like a newborn star. The beam struck the nearest void swarm vessel dead center, burning through its organic hull like paper. For a moment, everything seemed to stop as both fleets watched the impossible. A ship of the dreaded swarm split cleanly in two. Admiral Zarevex's voice carried a note of astonishment. By the cosmic winds, what manner of weapon is that? Humanity's gift to the galaxy, Chen replied, allowing herself a small smile. Commander Wright. Analysis of enemy response. Wright's reply was cut short by a chorus of urgent alerts. The surviving swarm vessels were changing, their hull structures rippling and reforming. Where the organic material had been smooth, it now developed irregular patterns, layers upon layers of biological armor. They're adapting, Wright reported grimly. Second target acquired. Firing. The thermopyla cannon spoke again, but this time the beam scattered across the new hull configuration of its target, dealing minimal damage. Tactical assessment. Chen demanded, her mind already racing through options. The swarm appears to be a collective consciousness, Wright explained. They observed how our weapon worked and evolved a defense against it. Traditional energy weapons are barely scratching them, and now our main advantage is neutralized. The bridge of the Avalon shuddered as another swarm attack found its mark. Shields at 40%, Rodriguez reported. Whatever they're using, it's getting more effective with each hit. Chen opened the channel to the Kilari flagship. Admiral, we need to coordinate. Your people have fought these things before. What are their weaknesses? The alien admiral's galaxy eyes swirled with tactical calculations. The swarm operates on principles we barely understand. They consume technology, adapt to weapons, and grow stronger. We've lost 12 systems to their advance. But Zarevex paused, studying something off-screen. Your weapon. Even though they adapted, the principles behind it are unlike anything we've encountered. Perhaps together. The bridge rocked again. Shields at 25%. Rodriguez called out. We can't take much more of this. Admiral. Chen leaned forward, her voice intense. The Avalon carries more than weapons. We have a full complement of mining equipment. Quantum drills designed to break down asteroids at the molecular level. If your scientists could help us modify them. Understanding bloomed in Zarevex's cosmic eyes. Yes, yes, the swarm adapts to weapons, but mining equipment. Commander Lyrex, begin transmission of our tactical database to the human vessel. Captain Chen, I'm dispatching our chief scientist to your ship. Can you provide safe docking in this chaos? Chen turned to her helm officer. Rodriguez, plot us a course behind the Kilari defensive line. Right, coordinate with our engineering team. I want those mining drills ready for modification the moment their scientist arrives. As the Avalon maneuvered through the battlefield, Chen watched the Void Swarm's attacks intensify. The enemy seemed to sense that something was changing, that their prey was doing more than simply fighting back. The Kilari scientist, Telvera, proved to be a revelation. Tall and graceful like all her kind, she brought with her an understanding of energy manipulation that left the Avalon's engineering team in awe. Together with Dr. Sarah Chung, the ship's chief engineer, they began the delicate process of modifying the mining equipment. The principle is sound, Telvera explained, her translated voice carrying excitement. Your quantum drills operate on a fundamentally different framework than our weapons. The swarm's adaptation is keyed to recognize and counter military technology. But this, she gestured to the modified drill assembly. This is something else entirely. How long until we can test it? Chen asked, watching through the workshop's viewport as another Kilari ship succumbed to the swarm's relentless assault. Hours, not days, Chang replied, her hands dancing over the equipment. But Captain, you should know, we'll only get one shot at this. Once they see what we're doing, they'll adapt, Chen finished. Then we make it count. Admiral, she turned to the communication screen where Zarevex waited. We need your fleet to buy us those hours. And when we're ready, we'll need every ship you can spare to carry modified drills. The Admiral's response was immediate. Whatever you need, Captain. My people have fought the swarm across 12 systems. We've lost millions. If there's even a chance this works. The alien commander's voice carried the weight of those losses and the hope of preventing more. As the hours ticked by, the combined fleet held their line against the Void Swarm's onslaught. Human ingenuity and Kilari wisdom raced against time, working to transform tools of creation into instruments of survival. And in the depths of space, the swarm continued its assault, unaware that its greatest threat would come not from a weapon of war, but from the simple tools of human industry. A quiet intensity filled the Avalon's engineering bay as Dr. Chang made the final adjustments to the modified mining drill. The device, now integrated with Kilari energy matrices, looked more like an abstract sculpture than a weapon. Telvera stood nearby, her galaxy eyes fixed on the holographic readouts. The quantum resonance is stable, the Kilari scientist announced. Though I still find it remarkable that your species developed such precise molecular manipulation technology for simple resource extraction. Chang smiled as she sealed the last panel. Humanity learned early on that the most powerful tools aren't always the ones designed for war. Sometimes you need to break things down to their fundamental parts to understand them truly. Captain Chen's voice came through the intercom. Status report. The prototype is ready, Chang replied. We've modified 20 drills total, enough to equip the Avalon and 4 Kilari cruisers. The quantum field should disrupt the swarm's molecular structure at its most basic level. They can adapt to weapons. But this, she patted the drill housing. This changes the rules of the game entirely. On the bridge, Chen studied the tactical display where the Void Swarm's ships pulsed with that sickly internal light. They'd grown larger over the past hours, consuming debris from destroyed vessels to add to their mass. The Kilari fleet had lost 3 more ships, though Admiral Zarevex's tactics had made the swarm pay dearly for each victory. Admiral, Chen opened the secure channel to the Kilari flagship. The modifications are complete. Are your ships in position? Affirmative, Captain. The Admiral's voice carried both exhaustion and determination. My best crews have been briefed on the operating principles, though I must admit, using mining equipment as a weapon, it's not something we would have considered. Sometimes the best solutions come from unexpected directions, Chen replied. Commander Wright, begin deployment sequence. Rodriguez, plot us an attack vector that brings us in close. These drills don't have the range of the Thermopyla. The modified drills were mounted on external hardpoints, giving the Avalon a distinctly unconventional appearance. The Kilari cruisers looked even stranger, their elegant lines now bristling with human industrial equipment. All ships report ready, Wright announced. Awaiting your command. Chen took a deep breath, knowing that what happened in the next few minutes would determine not just their survival, but potentially the fate of countless worlds in the swarm's path. Admiral, I suggest we target their largest vessel first, if we can demonstrate the effectiveness. Agreed, Zarevex cut in. My tactical analysis suggests their command and control functions are centralized in the larger ships. A successful strike there could disrupt their collective consciousness. All ships, this is Captain Chen. Our objective is the swarm flagship. The Avalon will take point, punching a hole in their defensive line. Kilari cruisers will follow in attack formation Delta. Remember, once they see what these drills can do, they'll start adapting. Make every shot count. The combined fleet moved as one, accelerating toward the swarm's position. The enemy responded immediately, their ships moving to intercept with that unsettling organic grace. Energy weapons lashed out from both sides, lighting up space with a deadly light show. Enemy adaptation patterns holding steady, Wright reported. They're still optimized against our conventional weapons. That's about to change, Chen said grimly. All ships, attack pattern Omega. Bring us in close and prepare to fire on my mark. The Avalon dove through a gap in the swarm's formation, taking hits but its shield holding just long enough. They emerged from the chaos less than a kilometer from the massive swarm flagship, point-blank range in space combat terms. Now, Chen commanded. The modified drills activated simultaneously across all 5 ships. There was no beam of light, no dramatic explosion. Instead, space itself seemed to shiver as quantum fields designed to break down rock at the molecular level met the organic technological hybrid of the swarm's hull. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like ice cracking under pressure, the swarm flagship's hull began to disintegrate, not burning or exploding, simply coming apart at the molecular level, unable to maintain cohesion under the quantum field's influence. By all that's sacred, Zarevex breathed. It's working. The effect spread like a cancer through the massive vessel, its biological components unable to adapt to an attack that wasn't trying to destroy them, but simply denied their ability to maintain molecular bonds. The swarm ship began to break apart, fragments spinning off into space, each piece continuing to disintegrate until nothing larger than dust remained. Multiple energy signatures detected within the swarm fleet, Wright reported, excitement creeping into his professional tone. They're attempting to adapt, but their molecular structure is actually working against them. The more complex their adaptations become, the more vulnerable they are to the quantum field. Chen allowed herself a small smile. All ships, concentrate fire on the remaining capital vessels. Let's show the swarm that humanity and the Kilari together are more than they bargained for. The void of space became a graveyard of dissolving biomatter as the combined human-Kilari fleet pressed their advantage. The void swarm's remaining ships twisted and writhed, their organic components attempting to evolve countermeasures against the quantum field assault. But each adaptation only made them more vulnerable to the modified mining drills. Enemy fleet at 60% strength and falling, Wright reported, his tactical display a constellation of disintegrating swarm vessels. They're attempting to regroup, but their coordination appears to be deteriorating. Admiral Zarevex's voice carried newfound confidence. The loss of their flagship has fragmented their collective consciousness. For the first time since they appeared in our space, they're truly vulnerable. The Avalon shuddered as a desperate swarm vessel rammed into their shields. Shields at 15%, Rodriguez called out. That last hit took out 2 of our drill mounts. Chen gripped her command chair as the ship stabilized. They're getting desperate. Admiral, we need to press our advantage before they can establish a new command structure. Agreed. All Kilari vessels, converge on Sector 7. Captain Chen, can your Avalon provide covering fire? The Thermopyla cannon is still operational, Chen confirmed. Even if they've adapted to its direct effects, we can use it to disrupt their formations. Right, target their escort vessels. Let's clear a path for the Kilari strike force. The battle transformed into a complex dance of technology and tactics. The Avalon's conventional weapons, while no longer directly effective against the swarm, created chaos in their ranks. The Kilari ships, more numerous and agile, darted through the gaps with their modified drills running at full power. In the engineering bay, Dr. Chang and Telvera worked frantically to maintain the quantum field generators. The human-Kilari hybrid technology was never designed to operate at such intensity for prolonged periods. The field harmonics are destabilizing, Telvera announced, her galaxy eyes tracking multiple readouts simultaneously. We're pushing these mining tools far beyond their design parameters. Chang's hands flew over the control interfaces. We can reroute power through the secondary systems, but it's going to reduce efficiency by at least 30%. Captain, she called over the comm, whatever you're planning to do with these drills, I suggest doing it quickly. On the bridge, Chen processed this information against the tactical situation. The swarm was wounded but not defeated, and now they were racing against time before their primary weapon lost effectiveness. "Admiral," she opened the channel to Zeravex. "Our engineers report we're running out of time. We need to end this now." The Admiral's response was immediate. "I have an idea, but it's extremely risky. The swarm ships are still linked, even if their coordination is compromised. If we could trigger a cascade failure in their molecular structure, it would spread through their entire fleet," Chen finished, seeing where the Admiral was going. "But we'd need to get multiple drill arrays firing at precisely the same point in space, perfectly synchronized." "My ships can provide the positioning," Zeravex said. "But we'd need your Avalon's computing power to calculate and coordinate the quantum fields." Chen turned to her science officer. "Lieutenant Park, can we do it?" Park's fingers danced across his console. "The math is complex, but possible. We'd need at least 4 ships firing simultaneously, their quantum fields synchronized to within a picosecond. One mistake, and the fields could collapse catastrophically." "Upload the calculations to the Kilari vessels," Chen ordered. "Admiral, select your 3 best ships and have them form up on our position. Everyone else needs to fall back to minimum safe distance." The next few minutes were a symphony of precision as the 4 ships maneuvered into position. The remaining swarm vessels, sensing the threat, launched a furious assault against the formation. Shields flickered and failed under the onslaught, but the ships held their positions. "Quantum field synchronization at 98%, Park announced. "All ships report ready." Chen took a deep breath. "Admiral, we're with you, Captain. All or nothing. Fire." 4 quantum drill arrays activated simultaneously, their fields merging at a single point in space. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a ripple in reality itself, a wave of molecular disruption spread outward. Every swarm ship caught in its path began to break down, their linked consciousness carrying the cascade failure from vessel to vessel. "My God," Wright whispered. "It's like watching a chain of dominoes fall." In less than a minute, it was over. Where the mighty swarm fleet had been, only clouds of molecular debris remained, sparkling like strange cosmic dust in the light of distant stars. Silence fell over the Avalon's bridge as the last particles of the void swarm dissipated into space. The victory had come at a cost. 3 Kilari ships lost, the Avalon's hull scarred by multiple impacts, and every surviving vessel's energy reserves nearly depleted. But they had achieved what countless civilizations thought impossible. They had broken the swarm. "Damage report," Chen called out, her voice hoarse from hours of issuing commands. "Hull integrity at 60%, Rodriguez responded. "Shields offline. Quantum drill arrays burned out completely. The thermopila cannon is operational but running on backup power. Our remaining ships report similar conditions," Wright added. "But Captain, we did it. We actually did it." The main view screen flickered to life, showing Admiral Zeravex. The Kilari commander looked exhausted, but her galaxy eyes shimmered with an emotion that transcended species barriers. "Hope." "Captain Chen," the Admiral's translated voice carried a new warmth. "Your people's arrival was unexpected, but I now believe it was destined. In a single day, you have helped us achieve what 12 systems and countless lives could not." Chen smiled tiredly. "We had help, Admiral. Your people's knowledge of the swarm, your tactical expertise, your scientists' understanding of energy manipulation. We succeeded because we worked together, because we each brought something unique to the battle." Indeed, Zeravex was silent for a moment. "The Kilari Council will want to establish formal diplomatic relations with your civilization. But before the politicians become involved, I want you to know something. Today, you and your crew have earned more than just our gratitude. You have earned our respect, our trust, and if you wish it, our friendship." In the engineering bay, Dr. Chung and Telvera were already deep in discussion, sharing insights from their collaboration. The human engineer's practical approach to problem-solving complemented the Kilari scientists' theoretical expertise perfectly. Your mining technology, Telvera mused, examining the burned-out drill array. It's remarkably elegant in its simplicity. We would never have considered using industrial tools as weapons. Perhaps we've become too focused on developing dedicated military technology. Chung nodded. And your understanding of energy manipulation is decades ahead of ours. Together, she paused, considering the possibilities. Together, we could develop technologies that neither of our species could create alone. Back on the bridge, Chen and Zara Vex were discussing immediate priorities. We need to warn other Kilari systems about the swarm's weakness, the Admiral was saying, and establish a communication network with your people. If any swarm vessels survived, they'll adapt, Chen finished. But now we know they can be beaten. And next time, we'll be better prepared. The Avalon carries quantum communication, boys. We can set up a direct link to Earth right now, begin the process of formal diplomatic relations. There's something else, Zoravex added. Our long-range sensors indicate this was only one arm of the swarm. There are others, moving through different sectors of space. Many civilizations lie in their path, civilizations that might not survive without help. Chen straightened in her chair, despite her exhaustion. Are you suggesting what I think you are, Admiral? A joint task force, Zoravex confirmed. Your ships, our ships, working together to protect other worlds from the swarm. We can share our technology, train together, learn from each other. The swarm is not the only threat in this galaxy, Captain, but today has proven that we are stronger together than apart. Looking around her bridge, Chen saw the pride in her crew's faces. They had come seeking new frontiers, new knowledge, and instead found themselves on the front lines of a war they hadn't known existed. Yet in doing so, they had forged something perhaps even more valuable than victory. They had forged trust between two civilizations that had never met before today. Admiral, Chen replied, I believe this is the beginning of a very productive partnership. As repair crews began their work and communication channels opened between Earth and the Kilari homeworld, Chen couldn't help but feel that this was more than just a military victory. Today, humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, not through conquest or domination, but through cooperation, innovation, and the willingness to see beyond species differences to the common ground that united all sentient beings. The stars seemed a little brighter now, full of not just danger but possibility. And somewhere out there, other civilizations waited, unknowing, as a new alliance prepared to defend them against the darkness between the stars.